Most people think BMW is a car brand. It isn't. BMW is a decision you make about yourself. And depending on where you are in that decision, you are living in a completely different world from the person standing next to you at a stoplight, even if you are both driving a 3 Series. 7 levels, not ranked by price, not by horsepower, not by what you spent on the car, ranked by who you actually are. Because the real difference between BMW owners has never been what they drive. It is why they drive it. And which level you belong in says more about yourself than any spec sheet ever will. You do not own a BMW yet. But you know what the G80 is without looking it up. Your phone wallpaper is an M4 in Isle of Man green. You have built the same car in the configurator so many times, you know the option list by memory. You watch videos like this one at midnight for no reason except you cannot stop. This is level 1, and it is the most underestimated level in this entire video. Because here is the truth about BMW culture that nobody says out loud. The culture does not start when you buy the car. It starts long before. BMW spent over 100 years building a brand designed to pull you in before you can afford it. Aspiration is the product. The car is just how it gets delivered. The myth is that you are an outsider until you have the keys. The reality is that the people who research hardest before they buy almost always end up with the right car. Dreamers make better BMW owners than impulse buyers, every time. But there is a risk here. Aspiration without a deadline becomes frustration. Pick the car, pick the date, make it real. The day you take delivery of your first BMW is not a normal day. It does not matter if it is a 3-year-old 3 Series with 40,000 miles. The moment that roundo belongs to you, something shifts. You notice every BMW on the road. You wave at drivers you have never met. You take the long way home because you are not ready to stop. But level 2 comes with a reality check nobody warned you about. The first BMW is rarely the right BMW. Living with one teaches you things no review ever could. What you actually need and what you thought you wanted are almost always two different things. The first car is the tuition. The second one is the education. Here is what you are actually paying for at this level, not the car. Entry into a world most people only ever watch from the outside. And once you are inside, you realize it has layers you could not see before you joined. You know exactly what the subframe issue on the E46 was. You know why the S58 is considered a significant step forward from the S55. You have a position on the N54 versus the B58 debate that you are fully prepared to defend at a dinner table. Level 3 is where BMW stops being something you own and starts being something you understand. This is the person who reads forums before they need them, who watches dyno videos at 11 at night for no practical reason, who uses generation codes the way most people use model names because those codes carry real meaning about the car, the era, and what changed. Here is the truth about level 3. Knowledge in this community is real currency. The person who can tell you exactly why the E90 M3 V8 feels different from the G80 M3 inline 6 is not just educated, they are respected. At every meet, on every forum, in every comment section, the researcher is the one people turn to. But knowing everything about a car and actually pushing one are two completely different experiences. At some point, the research has to end and the road has to begin. Here is the level nobody talks about honestly. You bought the M Sport package. The body kit is right, the steering wheel badge says M, the car looks the part in every photo, from every angle, in every parking lot. You call it the M model and nobody around you corrects you because from the outside, most people genuinely cannot tell the difference. But M Sport is not an M car. That is the single most common misunderstanding in BMW culture. M Sport is a styling and suspension package. It sharpens the aesthetics. It tightens the ride. It does not touch the engine. It does not change what the car can actually do on a road that demands something real. This is not a knock on M Sport owners. The package is worth having. The car looks better. But there is a version of this brand most M Sport owners have never experienced, and they have no idea what they are missing because the badge tells them they already have it. The moment someone drives from an M Sport car directly into a real M car, they understand the difference immediately, completely. There is no going back from that drive. Every serious BMW enthusiast can describe this moment in exact detail, even years after it happened. The first time they drove a real M car. Not rode in one, drove one. Pushed it through a corner and felt what the M division built when they had full control of the platform. The engine, the suspension geometry, the cooling, the software. All of it by people whose only job is building a car a driver ever can feel. The M2, M3, M4, M5. These are not fast versions of normal cars. They are different machines wearing familiar bodies. The S58 inline-6 in the G80 M3 was built by a team that had nothing to do with the engine in the standard 3 Series. Same silhouette, different soul. The Awakening is where everything before it makes sense. Why the dreamers build toward this for years. Why the researchers go so deep. Why the badge trap catches so many. Because until you have driven the real thing, you genuinely do not know what you have been missing. You cannot undrive an M car. Once you know what it feels like, everything else becomes a comparison. At this level, the BMW is not a car anymore. It is a project, a lifestyle, something that has quietly taken over weekends, conversations, and a budget that started completely reasonable and evolved into something you have made a conscious decision not to calculate too carefully anymore. The Level 6 owner knows their tire pressures without checking. They know their oil weight, their alignment specs, and their track day schedule for the next 3 months. They have a street setup and a separate one for when the car earns it. They have spent more time talking to their alignment shop than to most people they know, and they are completely fine with that. What looks like obsession from outside is actually precision. The person at Level 6 found the car. What they are doing now is learning everything it can teach them, one session at a time. The one risk at this level is losing sight of what the car was always supposed to be for. The greatest machines in the world are built to be used, not stored, not preserved behind a cover, not driven only when conditions are absolutely perfect. Drive it! The lifer might own 3 BMWs across 3 generations and tell you the full story of every one. Might have an E30 they work on Sunday mornings and an M5 they commute in on Monday. Might have close friends they only know because of a car meet that started a decade ago and never stopped. Level 7 is not about money or having the most powerful BMW at the meet. It is about what this brand has genuinely become to you when you are honest with yourself. BMW started as an airplane engine company in 1916. More than a century later, people are still building their weekends, their relationships, and their sense of identity around what it eventually became. When you meet a lifer, you know it before they say a word. They talk about their cars the way most people talk about the things that shaped them. 7 levels, 1 brand, and somewhere in that list is exactly where you are right now. BMW does not just build cars, it creates a journey, and the fact that the journey looks completely different for every single person on it is the only reason a company that started building airplane engines is still the one people argue about, dream about, and build their lives around more than a century later. Drop your level in the comments. Tell me which one you actually are, not which one you want to be.